When did you know that you needed to reach out or that you needed help or you knew that you had these triggers?
It got to a point where I didn't want to be here on this earth, and I resorted to some other stuff, and then a couple days had passed by, and I kind of just was just alone with my thoughts for several hours, and it just clicked, if I wasn't gonna go and get help, no one was gonna help me.
Hi guys, welcome to Beyond the Jersey, and today we are focusing on mental illness, and we have two student athletes who are here to share their stories. Introduce yourselves.
Yeah, of course. My name is Michaela Shields. I'm a junior here at University of Pacific. I am a communications major, hoping to minor in French, and I am a Pacific Tiger dancer.
Bianca Lopez. I'm a senior soccer player. I am majoring in psychology, and I'm hoping to be a sports psychologist once I leave this place.
So let's start out with first basic question. What is mental health to you guys?
Well, I definitely think it's just your overall well-being as a person, but that umbrellas behavioral, how you feel, and also what you think about.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it has to do with everything that affects you mentally, physically, spiritually, everything that you think about and just affects your body.
Do you think mental health gets overlooked, particularly for student athletes?
A lot of people hold a higher standard for athletes just because they see athletes as people who work really hard and need to be strong all the time. And a lot of people, I think, find it harder to understand that athletes also struggle with mental health as well. So yes, I think all walks of life struggle with mental health, but yes, I definitely think that there is a stress on athletes.
So going off that, do you feel that there are a lot of misconceptions about mental illness or mental health even, and if so, why do you think they occur?
People think mental health is just very specific, when it could stem from eating disorders. It could stem from abuse of alcohol or other substances, and it could be hereditary, or it could be something that some traumatic event happened in their life and now they're having these issues. So it affects more than just the common individual who may just be dealing with some type of depression or anxiety.
Do you have any personal experiences that has shaped how you think and talk about mental health?
I've been struggling with anxiety and depression ever since my high school career, and in high school, after a while, having my family as a support group, people that I loved, I started really getting a lot better, and figuring out all, like you said, my triggers and knowing what made me upset. But the hardest part that I thought I was all okay, wrapped up in a little bow, I'm strong, I got this now. When I had to leave for college and come here, I had to say goodbye to all of the people who were my support group, my family, my loved ones, my best friend. And then, with moving somewhere else or going to a different school or different environment, you have different triggers. Mm-hmm. And coming to a place where, I felt really lost. And I think just now I have such a respect for all of the just freshmen that come in, and especially the people who come from really far away places. We have a lot of people who, international students on campus. I don't know if I could ever do that. And I just have such an utmost respect for other students on campus, and I just think that my perspective has changed so much since my freshman year, where now I have kind of figured it out, more or less. But I definitely think that it would have helped me a lot more if I had, I don't know, just like someone, like just a group that I could talk to who just like was like knew what I was talking about. Like, I mean, on campus, just like other students and especially other athletes, because just because we have such different lifestyles. I mean, you wake up in the morning, you have practice, you go to class, and then you probably have practice again after that. Then you have weights, and then you have to eat, and then you have to sleep, and then you have to work. Like, I mean, it's just, I wish there would have been something like that. And I know that a lot of students probably don't even reach out to other people, and that, I mean, that just like concerns me, because that's so hard.
So going off that, when did you know that you needed to reach out, or that you needed help, or you knew that you had these triggers?
So I think for me, it got to a point where I didn't want to be here on this earth, and I resorted to some other stuff, and then if I wasn't gonna go and get help, no one was gonna help me. If I was gonna make the decision, like nothing was gonna happen. And so I just decided I would just start by telling one person at a time, and eventually I would tell the right person and they'd be able to help me. And I just started to try and doing it with the person I felt closest with. And once I finally told it, I felt better. I told another person, I felt better. And the more and more I just spoke about it and was able to get these feelings out, it made it easier. And like she said, I started to get a support group. I started to get people who did care, but I didn't know at the time because I was just so blocked behind my own thoughts. So I guess in a way, like when you are in a deep hole, or when you get to a point where it is a little too hard to manage, sometimes it does just take yourself. But having that good support, like it's just so crucial.
For me, when I started realizing that I needed help or needed someone to talk to, was when I started getting anxiety attacks and panic attacks. I didn't really know what they were at first, and I just kind of would get so upset and angry, and it just like that's not the type of person I am. But like you said, once I started reaching out and developing support groups of people who I knew I could count on, like my parents, and then hear people that, I mean, you just gotta just get it out there. Sometimes you just need to tell like a random stranger. Like sometimes it doesn't even matter if it's not someone who it's your friend. It's just like you need to get it out.
Have you seen mental health affecting your peers and friends and people around you?
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of the time they don't even realize it. I mean, mental illness issues, they don't discriminate. I mean, they come from like anxiety, depression, eating disorders, anything like that. What comes for you, it doesn't matter, I mean, what age you are or what you look like, or, I mean, how happy of a person you normally are. So I think that is something that to keep in mind, and I think it's also very important to realize when people are, to educate yourself. When your friends, family, anyone, you see them having symptoms of mental illness, and it's not just like they're like having a bad day, but just kind of knowing the difference. I think that's super important.
Yeah, definitely. I have seen it in numerous occasions throughout all my walks of life, but I feel like I do see it a lot, and I kind of see it how you say the people don't even know it sometimes. I feel like I see that a lot, and I don't know, personally for me, I'm really like good at reading other people and like their emotions, and just getting a feel of like how they're feeling at the moment. And there's a lot of times where I'll ask people how they're doing, And I'm not the type of person who just wants to, like, I'm doing good. Like, I'm like, no, like,
No, like,
how
actually, how you doing?
Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
You're like an empath.
Yeah, because I'm like, if someone asks me, like, I'm going to tell them, like, how I'm really feeling. Like, even if I'm not feeling that great, because they asked me a question, I'm going to answer it. You know?
Like, even though
You
like,
asked
they're
for it.
probably asking
Yeah.
for, like, oh,
But-
yeah, I'm fine. Like,
So there's been, several times where I've seen it on younger teammates, and I completely, like, sympathize, and it breaks my heart because I try and be a support system for them, but a lot of times they do feel like they have very few people who they can turn to, and I think that was a hard thing for me in my first 2 years. I felt like I didn't really have anyone who I could turn to, and I went to some therapists, and they really just didn't understand because they just thought my being an athlete was like something I did for fun.
right.
And
Yeah.
but it's more than that, you know. And so it was really hard to make those connections, and I know for a lot of other people that's why they don't go to therapy, because they can't really connect.
What advice do you guys have for people maybe struggling with it and haven't reached out for help yet?
I mean, I know this is like the cliche one, but like, you're not alone. No matter how rough it gets, like, there's always somebody that you can speak with and talk to.
So stupid, but just, like, doing things for yourself that genuinely make you happy. Just taking, like, I don't know, like 10 minutes to an hour out of your day, week, whatever. Just something that you can look forward to. And just, I think it really helps you. Like, for me, this is so, like, lame, but I go and, like, every week or 2 weeks, I go and get my nails done. And that's something that I do for me, and that's something where I don't have to talk to anyone if I don't want to. I go and get my coffee and just sit down and just relax. And I think that's so important to just really take care of yourself, especially if you do, I mean, for anyone, but especially if you do struggle with mental illnesses, just taking that time to just think, hey, I'm okay, I'm safe, this is something that I enjoy, and I can just kind of relax, you know?
I think it's also, in case you can't vocalize as well, write it out, send it to somebody. There's so many other ways of communicating how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Find a way of expressing yourself. Art, any kind of thing that you can actually put what you're feeling into something. Working out, do something that is keeping you busy, keeping your mind focused on something else. But don't distract it, don't suppress it.
Yeah.
Feel it, channel it, and put it towards something that is going to be positive and benefit you.
Yeah, definitely. Like, if you can feel it in a positive way, and I mean, I don't necessarily think that, like, if you're at the darkest, lowest point of your life, don't feel it in that second. Maybe not call someone or text. I mean, I know that now there's, like, hotlines, but maybe for, like, when you realize what's going on, you can, like especially when you have your triggers, like paint. Like, I'm awful at coloring. I have a coloring book, and all I do is I color. I mean, like, I color within the lines, and that's what helps me. I'm a terrible artist, but maybe for other people, it's working out, going and kicking a ball, going and, I don't know, doing handstand. Who knows?
Yeah, some fishing.
Yeah,
whatever.
just doing something and just being active, and just being active within your body and grounding yourself and channeling those emotions out into the world and get them out. I think that's so important.
Thank you for sharing your stories, and thank you for being on Beyond the Jersey, and I hope our viewers know more about mental health. And
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I'm so happy we came and got to talk about this.
thank you for watching another episode of Beyond the Jersey, and tune in next week.